Let's tell you how feminism has lost its way in the real world. Let's begin with this quote from a Toronto police officer who said that women should avoid dressing like sluts, okay? So what's the response to this? Okay, well, when I was a younger feminist, the response would have been, we march down there, right? And we basically, I remember Dworkin once said, if you don't like an institution, you dismantle it brick by brick, okay? Well, that's what we would have done and gone and fought. Not today, okay? We don't like what he said, so what do? We dress like this, okay? And then we reclaim our sluthood. This is what's going to work. This is going to overthrow patriarchy. Women walking around like this. Now, you know what? I want to say something. These are the next picture. These are young women, okay? I understand that in the porn culture. My question is, where were the older feminists? This was an example of absolute and utter irresponsibility on the part of older feminists. To say to these younger women, we understand this energy, let's organise it, let's figure out a way how to do it. I'll give you an example. I was on the BBC World Service with one of the organisers. I'm not going to say her name. She's a young woman in her 20s. And we're on the BBC World Service, right? Thousands, if not millions of people listening to us. She is enraged at me. She said, how dare you come in and criticise us? If you don't like it, she said, start your own movement. And I said, no, listen. So I said, I did. It's called the feminist movement. And you're in my movement, honey. I'm not in yours, okay? Do you understand that? She walked into my movement and I said to her, what did you think? You were going to march into this movement, do what you want, and nobody was going to criticize you? I said, this is what movements do. Right? And I know we have the Norwegians here. They have the best way of organising a movement that I have ever seen, the way that you do. Because you wouldn't allow this shit to go down, okay? Am I right? Okay, yes. So I am saying we have to, you know, get in there. I'm not saying as older feminists we go in and we smack, smack, smack and say you can't do this. But you mentor. That's what you do. It means something, right? Our wisdom and our knowledge. When I was 22, I couldn't have done what I do now. So there's something to be said for wisdom, which doesn't mean we render invisible younger people. It means that we sort of build a movement together. So this is the result, okay? This is where it ends. It ends with women like this, dressing like this, basically reproducing it. So, carry on. So, this is Jacqueline Friedman, another third-wave feminism. Anyone heard of her in this country? Yeah. So she spoke at the Boston Slut Walk. 3,000 women, and this was her speech at the end. If you've ever been called a slut, stand up now and say together, I am a slut. Stand up and say it with me. I am a slut, I am a slut, I am a slut. All right, how did we get to this incredible point that this is feminism? I am a slut, okay? Now, let's imagine for a minute that we take Jacqueline Friedman's advice and that our future way to liberation is to claim that we're sluts. Just let's take that on face value. So I'm going to offer this woman her claim to this, okay? I'm going to say that her answer to her oppressed state, right, Miss Diallo, is to say she's a slut. So she should walk down the street claiming, I am a slut, I am a slut, I am a slut. Do you all know who she is? Yes. Right, because Miss Diallo is Dominic Strauss-Kahn's victim. Next one. Okay, so let's imagine this. The same time that the slut walks are going on, the head of the IMF, right, we're not talking any, you know, small job here, we're talking the head of the IMF, rapes a woman. Okay, rape, there's no question it was rape. His blood and her semen up the bathroom walls would be enough evidence for me, okay? Rapes her. And then, let's imagine, she says, her defense, but I'm a slut. I'm empowered by it. Well, indeed, she didn't have to make that defense because the next week in the New York Post, this is what they say. DSK made a hooker. So you know what? If you're white, upper middle class, and older, maybe you can get away with this shit and saying I'm a slut. Let me tell you, if you're a woman of colour, if you're a poor white woman, that is going to stick like mud. So again, what does it mean for a major figure of third wave, Jacqueline Friedman, as the Dominic Strauss-Kahn is going on, to suggest that the answer is to claim one's sluthood. How elitist and privileged can you be to not understand the repercussions of what you're saying is going to have on other women?